波士顿喜临门大酒楼即将搬迁，居民依依不舍。全美许多中国城面临社区贵族化，这一威胁使得当地华裔居民出现日益萎缩的趋势。波士顿已经成为美国房价最高的前3名。对于一个像中国城那样每天充满活力的街区，中国城不仅是华人居住地，也是华人建立社交经济网络的地方。社区需要发展，波士顿中国城也需要发展。表面看来，更多的资金进入中国城开发，会令社区变得更加宜居和时尚，但也带来房价和租金的飞涨。居民和传统小商家无法承受高涨的租金，而被迫离开的处境。位于波士顿中国城林肯街125号的喜临门大酒楼，无疑是中国城最受欢迎的中餐厅之一，也是中国城极具地标的美食代表之一。随着林肯街125号大楼工程的推进，租用该楼的喜临门酒楼和美东烧腊将于下个星期，也就是3月15号关门停业。据喜临门的工作人员介绍，该酒楼将会搬迁到位于 Essex 街83号原潮州城餐厅继续经营，但是面积缩小了很多，也没有办法继续承办大型的宴会。这么多年以来，喜临门大酒楼无疑是充当了一个社区枢纽中心的功能。如果它停业，造成的经济损失无疑是巨大的，但它对于社区居民的影响呢？带着这些问题，我们的记者走访了中国城的一些居民代表。
My name is Yaro Savel, and I live in town, and I actually do this kind of work. I just heard I heard the restaurant was closing through the grapevine. I heard that there are changes going on in this building, and you know, this happens in different parts of town. But anyway, I've lived in Chinatown for 5 years, and I've walked by this place every day for 5 years. And my wife and I have gone to a lot of different restaurants in Chinatown, but we just have never gone to this one. And so when I heard, you know, when I heard that they might be closing, I was, you know, this has always been like the most busy restaurant when you walk by it. There was always like so many people everywhere in here, and so I wanted to make sure to see what all the fuss was about before it closed, sadly. You know, my mother would always say that like magic kind of happens when people are sitting around a table. And so if, you know, families have been eating here forever, it obviously plays, it's like this backdrop for all these family memories and everything. So yeah, it's always heartbreaking when a place closes that you really like. So that'll be sad if that happens for people that have been coming here all the time.
This is my go-to Chinese restaurant. I come here all the time with my family, with friends who come in from out of town, different parts of the country, different parts of the world. So we come here a lot. Probably about 10 years ago when I moved into the neighborhood. Yeah, I really like this place. This is my go-to for even when I'm just meeting up with friends, having just as a communal space where we know we can get together, we can all enjoy some food. This has been our go-to. So I'm on the impact advisory group for the project that's being proposed for this site, but as far as I knew, this restaurant was going to remain in operation until that project got approval. It has not gotten approval yet. It's only been in the last not even like in the last week that I heard that they're closing or this coming week, which is incredibly upsetting because, you know, I feel like there's so many more meals I want to enjoy here, and to be able to have to lose a huge communal neighborhood space is going to impact all of us. We've heard it's moving, but the spot where it's moving on Essex Street, I've heard that the operator's in bankruptcy. No construction. They had been doing construction on this a few years ago, but the construction stopped a long time ago. So I don't know that this space is going to reopen anytime soon. I also don't know that it would be reopening in the same format in terms of the large dim sum banquet hall. If they were going to be reopening immediately at another location, I would take a deep breath and say, okay, fine. But right now, I don't know that they're going to be able to operate in the same way. There have been some discussions and hopefully promises that the developer will help with the relocation and that will happen soon, but I don't know for sure that that is happening. Well, I think it's about having space that can work for 2 people or can work for 10 people. There's something nice about being able to have these large tables where you can sit down with just the people you're with, but when it's crowded here on weekends, you can actually sit down at a table with people you don't know and get to know them. And so that we don't necessarily have. Like if you compare this space to, let's say, the new food hall on High Street, where it's just crammed with people, but it's really meant for, 1 or 2 people to sit down together. It's a very different type of space than this, where it's large tables and it's really an informal setting where people can kind of move around and speak to each other. You just really don't get that so much. And the other thing is, just because of the way this space is, it's great for families. Like, there are not many family-friendly restaurants. I know when I've come here with my daughter and her friends, they love playing in front of the dragons. They absolutely love the dragons, and they want to get up and touch, and they can do that safely here. They just have the freedom to move around. So that's something that we're lacking in all other places in Boston. So when it was, I believe it was Chow Chow City, that space years ago, it was a larger space that was on 2 floors, but I don't know what's happening with the new space at all, because it's been advertised as a food opera, meaning that there'll be multiple restaurants within that space. So I don't know that it would be able to, I don't know that there would be the opportunity for any one space to spread out and to offer what this space offers. And also, I mean, we come by here a number of times, or quite a bit, when there's a Chinese wedding happening and there's a banquet, and they will fill up this restaurant, and it's a very celebratory feel. I don't know that you can get that in a space where you have multiple vendors all kind of working together.
经常过来吃早点那个什么的，有听说过。就是希望不要关掉它了，因为我们这是属于我们中国人的一个聚集点，然后就是很多的那个婚宴啊什么都在这里开的，然后有好多属于我们自己中国的那个文化在这里。
你们这里最好的回忆是什么？有吗？
很多的时候都在这里聚会啊，很多人都在这里，因为这个地方大嘛，大人的聚会就在这里。
那你们最喜欢就是你在这边的话，就是他如果搬到这个新的地方，他是会有建造其他改革的，你们对这个有什么想法吗？
最好就是不要搬到别的地方去，因为来到这里就是有一种熟悉感，然后这个地方又属于好多跟家人的回忆，因为跟家人的朋友都经常来这边喝茶聊天啊什么的。
那你们有什么其他想法？
最好不如換啦，搬咗啦，去呢度好難揾到咁大嘅地方嚟擺酒啊！我哋中國人啊，要喜慶啊、結婚啊、生日啊，要平時啲機構聚會啊、大型嘅聚會啊，都係嚟呢度。我都搬咗去嘅地方唔夠大咧，就好難聚咁多人咯。
代表华埠地区的波士顿市议长费连一直把让波士顿居民有能力留在波士顿作为工作的第一要务。对于中国城地区近年来新楼迭起的现象，费连曾经表示，当前重要的工作是要确保中国城的现有居民，尤其是长者、移民和工薪家庭，仍然能够继续地居住在这里。他支持兴建更多可负担住房，而不是奢侈物业。
Well, I'm very disappointed in the recent decision to close the restaurant Hey La Moon. It plays a critical role in the Chinatown community, but also the greater Boston community as well. So many Asian families and others as well go to Hey La Moon for various events, for Lunar New Year, but also it's a place to gather with friends and family in a nice environment. So I'm disappointed in the closing of it, and I want to try to work with the owners of the building to see if we can keep Hega Moon open. That's important. It plays an important role in Chinatown.
对于中国城地区近年来新楼迭起的现象，费连曾经表示，当前重要的工作是要确保中国城的现有居民，尤其是长者、移民和工薪家庭，仍然能够继续地居住在这里。他支持兴建更多可负担住房，而不是奢侈物业。费连之前也曾向地产商牛津物业转达居民们希望保留酒楼和宴会厅的愿望，并呼吁牛津物业重新考虑相关的发展计划。社区如何在发展和保护弱势群体中维持平衡？波士顿市政府和议会是否有更多更好的政策措施来保护居民和小商家？本台会继续关注，也希望观众朋友们在留言区留下你的看法和建议。